one of the most important assets that any gaming corporation has, it's its brand. If you have a strong brand, you can push mediocre stuff and people will give you a pass. You can push awful business practices and people will give you a pass. I remember back in the day when EA Games came out and pushed SimCity 2000, and it was an online only game. A game that can be played in single player, but it was online only. And so the entire gaming community had an uproar. They viciously attacked EA Games. But while this was happening, Blizzard released StarCraft 2. And at the time, despite the fact that StarCraft 2 could also be played in single player, it would force you to make an online Battle.net account. And what's interesting is that Blizzard didn't get any type of shit for doing that on any forum by any journalistic outlet. Why? Because they had their brand. Same thing with Diablo 3. You know, Diablo 3 comes out, online only. People grappled a little bit, but they didn't get the same stuff that EA Games got, because EA Games had a toxic brand. At the time, it got the prize for being the worst company in the world. Was it the worst company in the world? Obviously not. But again, this is the power of culture and the power of memes. And so it's really important for any company to keep its brand up. And you get to notice this in real life as well. If it's a person that you like, imagine a woman with big fat tits, she's incredibly cute, she's very nice, she's seductive. How many men won't tolerate a lot of shit from that lady? She can do the worst things possibly imaginable. To the point where South Park had an episode where school teachers were having sex with their underage kids and the police officers were saying nice. Why? Because they were mocking the culture, because that's what actually happens. You see it in the newspaper, everyone glances it over. Why? Because it's a hot chick. In other words, she's got the brand. People like that. People like hot women. So they're tolerating a lot of stuff that they would never tolerate in any other situation. And the opposite is also true. When you have a person that you dislike, anything they do pisses you off. Even if they say good morning, even if they say hello, it pisses you off. And that's pretty much how brands in the entertainment industry work. If they manage to maintain good PR, a lot of stuff gets tolerated. Even some of the most worst and hideous things imaginable. But if they have bad PR, even when they release a good product, even when they're trying to do good, they still get criticism. And this is where Ubisoft is right now. It's got a really nasty PR. And so it's getting attacked by everyone. And it's becoming the punching bag of the gaming industry. Now, how did it get to this point? Well, it got through this point because of their arrogance. You see, it's okay if you release bad games. People are willing to overlook that. Okay, well, this company released a bad game. The company that makes Gothic, right? Piranha Bytes, I think it's called. So Piranha Bytes, they released the first Gothic, amazing game, people loved it. Released the second Gothic, again, mind-blowing game, people love it. Every game that came out after that is utter shit. But people don't hate the company. In order to be hated, you need to have either a bad business practice, so you're antagonizing the customer financially, or you need to be a cheeky little shit. You need to be extremely arrogant, act like you know better than everyone. And Ubisoft has done both. Ubisoft right now is selling games over $100, and if you pay for them, you get early access 5 or 10 days. That's a incredibly scummy business practice. Their terms of service say that they can harvest data from you. They try to milk you of every single penny with DLC. And on top of that, their games are shit. And on top of even that, they have some of the most arrogant community manager. They say that they will work with the police to crack down on hate speech and that they will regulate what gamers are allowed to talk about, so on and so forth. They're being antagonistic on purpose. And they're promoting a culture. They'll culturally align with the left, so that every single right-winger has a reason to hate them. They're not a neutral company like Piranha Bytes. Is Piranha Bytes a left-leaning or a right-wing company? I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure they have political opinions, but I don't know them by playing their games. But I do know what Ubisoft's politics are. And so everyone dislikes them. And their new recent game, which takes place in Japan, is probably one of the most culturally hated games of this year. By far. And the reason for it is multifaceted, but I would say that for a while, people who play Assassin's Creed really wanted a game that takes place in Japan. And so, like, the original Assassin's Creed actually hired a team of historians in order to try and make the games as immersive as possible. And they tried to make them as historically accurate as possible with a little spin, with a little twist that, okay, you're getting to play as an assassin and, you know, like, this person disappeared in mysterious circumstances, but he was actually assassinated, haha. Ubisoft has refused to make a game in Japan for all these years. Even though they're talking about diversity and all that shit, they refuse to make one in Japan. And now that they do it not because, like, they think it's a cool idea. They do it because Ghost of Tsushima was successful. And so they think it's safe. And so they're making a game in Japan, but they can't help themselves. They need to put an American in there, right? Like, they need to put the wokeness in there. And they need to put the woman with the little tits that looks like a man, which is like the wokeness flag, the wokeness banner. They need to put an African American there. They need to put hip-hop music. And like, at this point, they're becoming a meme. They're becoming a clown. And if they're the clown, people are willing to bring the circus. Including Japanese people, as you can see here, regarding the shrine destruction issue in Assassin's Creed. So, like, there's a mission where you destroy a shrine. And people are pointing out, it's like, well, why is this allowed? And the answer from Ubisoft is like, well, we destroyed churches in the past. Sure, you destroyed churches in the past, but have you destroyed any Jewish temples? No? Why not? I mean, you're a video game, right? Like, you're allowing player freedom. Why aren't we allowing that? Oh, so there is a limit. Okay, so what do Jewish temples have that Japanese shrines don't? Why are Jewish temples more valuable in the eyes of the people at Ubisoft than the Japanese shrines? What about mosques? I can't remember throughout any of the Assassin's Creed games anyone destroying a mosque. In fact, I wonder why. You know, here's my take on this. I don't think people really give a shit about the fact that they're burning churches in their games or they're destroying Japanese shrines. Like, there's probably other games where Japanese shrines are being destroyed. I'm pretty sure of it. But the problem is, who does it, right? You have a company that constantly preaches about diversity, inclusivity, and equity and constantly harasses their customers with community managers in order to train us to be decent people. So we expect that you fucking live by your ideology. You know, like, this is the thing. People don't like being told what to do. And for a while, you know, like, Christians in my childhood were constantly telling me what to do. And when I was looking at them, it's like, why the fuck don't you live based on your own values? They would say, well, you're not a Christian, you don't get to judge us. Okay, fine, you know. People get really enraged when they get that response. But now the same shit is happening with Ubisoft. Now, literally the same shit. It's like, this is how you need to live your life. And we're like, well, why don't you follow your values? Oh, you don't get to lecture. No, yes, we do. Yes, we fucking do. And you know what? The Chad Japanese are going to lecture you with fucking lawsuits. How about that? And you fucking deserve it. Again, if this was another company, if this was Running with Scissors, the company that made Postal, if they would have made a scene where you destroy a Japanese Shinto shrine, probably people in Japan wouldn't like it, but I don't think they would sue. I don't think it would have gotten to this point. They would maybe find it cringe and just not buy the game. But because you did it, congratulations. Welcome to being the punching bag on the internet. Like, literally everyone on the internet is just nitpicking everything that Ubisoft does with this game. And it's probably the very few games where people would actually cheer. Well, I would say if it fails, but when it fails. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.